Welcome to the Cultivation Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Hammel. This is the conclusion to Season 6. Thanks for sticking with us all season as we've been talking about self-care, making yourself a priority, investing in yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself to give to others. And so we're super glad that you have done that. My amazing guest today is not a new guest or not a first-time guest. We actually closed out last season together, and it was so popular, so backed by popular demand, I have my amazing, beautiful wife, Jami. It was popular. She doesn't believe me, but I see the stats, and I see how much everyone wanted to see these episodes. So, yeah, it was amazing popular. So you brought her back. So make this the number one show, and maybe she'll be back next season. Maybe we'll do a whole season together.
Whoa.
That might be a lot for Jami because we definitely have her out of her comfort zone right now. And I intentionally did not prep her a lot. Like, this is literally unscripted. I know you've heard that so far this season. Normally, I'm a little unscripted. I have bullet points that I want to talk about. But it's not like verbatim scripted. So, hi, welcome. You look really good. Nobody knows this, but you smell good too.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. I know that's your favorite perfume. So, nonetheless, self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a introduction, setup, highlight, and a jump into this conversation, for the last nearly 4 years, we've been on a weight loss journey.
Health journey.
Started
with weight loss.
It started, yeah. That's what got us interested, and then kind of awakened to not just a scale or a weight, but actually healthy living.
Yeah.
Which kind of is what led to even this topic of taking care of yourself, is this idea of healthy living and what does that mean. And some of the things that we've talked about already in this season is rest, our mindset, right? Having a coach. All of those are kind of topics that we've covered. So in this kind of conclusion, season finale episode, what does self-care look like for you, and what is it not for you, as we kind of talk about and try to give some examples to people, to individuals on caring for themselves. What does it look like for you?
Well, self-care for me, I think, is a lot of different things. Now that my kids are older, it looks different than what it did probably when I was younger, right? With young kids.
We call them littles.
And we're littles in our house. So it definitely looks different. But for me, self-care is a little bit of alone time, because I do like to have that alone time. Yeah. And I know that's probably weird for some people, but it just kind of, something that I enjoy. I enjoy shopping alone. Like clothes shopping.
But not grocery shopping.
Okay, but that's not self-care, I would say, for moms anyway.
Yeah.
Like, just because you get to get out of the house without the littles or without the kids doesn't mean that's self-care.
Sure.
It's a task, right, that we have to get done. We have to grocery shop. But self-care for me is, getting a manicure, getting a pedicure, maybe a massage, going and getting coffee by myself. I know sometimes that's kind of strange for people to do too, but I actually enjoy that. So for me, that is a little bit of self-care.
Sure. Let me ask you this question, because I know that we have this conversation about kind of self-talk. What would you say to yourself and to others about the guilt of self-care? Is there guilt to self-care?
There definitely is. There's the mom guilt, and I think all moms have it. No matter what.
How do you conquer that?
Well, it's okay to take care of yourself. I think that's the number one thing that we as moms and dads, I mean, anybody, doesn't matter if you're a parent or not, it's okay to take care of yourself and to have that self-care in your life, because we can't just go all the time. We need to have downtime. We need to have alone time. And it is an okay thing to give yourself some self-care. But I know as moms, we always feel that guilt of, okay, well, we're not taking care of the kids. We're not, we're not with them 24/7. We can't be with them 24/7. And I think as, humans, it's okay to be okay with that.
Yeah. I think it's super necessary, imperative, because if you don't do that, you end up draining yourself so far, so low, that you don't you're not actually taking care of them just because you're present. In this case, using
Right.
kids as an example, but you're not showing up as the best version or giving the best version of yourself to whomever or whatever the task is because you didn't take a little bit of time. I mean, to use a car analogy, you got to put gas back in the tank.
Yeah.
And so that self-care and that self-time where you're reinvesting into yourself really is more about that. That I'm a better dad, I'm a better husband when I make sure to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Not in a selfish way.
Right.
And definitely, I'm sure there's people watching and listening that they know selfish people in their life, and there are people that are selfish, right? Okay, that's just the world that we live in.
Yeah.
But the reason I take care of myself, and like for me right now, going to the gym and working out, and it's not even about trying to get some kind of body fitness style, but just more of like the outlet of stress. You know, to not bring the stress of life or the stress of work home. Well, I have to have an outlet. Working out happens to be that. Right. So it gets my heart rate up and, you know,
Right.
helps me do healthy living, that sort of thing. So again, that's where I'm saying, like, it's not just okay. It's super imperative that we make that an assignment, that we give ourselves that for my kids or for my spouse or partner. Or whatever.
I mean, I tell clients and friends all the time, you know, if we're not healthy, we're not giving our best self to our family. So I think it's important not to feel guilty for maybe going to the gym or going on a walk by yourself or a hike. But I think it's, you know, find a hobby that you really enjoy. Maybe you like paddleboarding, you know, just something that you can do that is going to help with that self-care.
So good. And you're good at it too. I know you keep working on it. I'm excited to announce to you today the launch of a new curriculum that we're doing as a follow-up to my book, The Life You're Meant to Lead. It's 12 weeks on stepping into your purpose and how to take action steps and applications to leading yourself. We cover a lot of topics about dreaming, having the right mindset, surrounding yourself with the right people, lots of things. How do you get to it? You can go to our website, ourcultivatedlives.com, or click in the description of my bio below. But anyways, okay, so obviously we've been married for 22 years. And it's been amazing. And I think probably we're in the best shape or season that we've ever been in. Kind of wish we could start over at this place. Then we'd have more time in the good zone, right? You know, that sort of thing. But nonetheless, how important is self-care to a relationship? And what does that look like?
Yeah. Well, it's the most important. I mean, if you don't take care of each other in a relationship, what's going to happen? It's going to eventually just not be in a good spot, right?
Yeah.
So for us, date night is super important, and it doesn't happen every week, but we try to make it happen almost every week. Even if it's simple and maybe it's not a full dinner going out, but maybe it's just coffee. We like to do our Thursday coffee talks.
With James Clear. That's what we do. You guys have heard me talk about Atomic Habits. So make sure you get that book. But then James Clear sends out an email every Thursday. We sit and discuss those things over coffee. And that's kind of like our little coffee time, coffee talk. Yeah. You know, kind of a deal. The other thing that we do, not necessarily date related, but oftentimes around our dining room table, we're playing games with our kids. Like we do a lot of games. Dominoes, Uno attack, whatever that means. Where if a 7 gets played, you're not allowed to talk. Uno. Spicy Uno, that's what it is. Spicy Uno. Uno attack is when it shoots at your face. Yes. But anyway,
Spicy Uno.
Spicy Uno, yes. So like the girls in our life, we have 2 daughters. So, you know, we're around that table all the time. They have friends over. They're around the table and we're playing. Britton's friend was over the other day and it's like, hey, let's play games, right? Yeah. So we have a lot of game nights around the table.
Yeah, and I think it comes in seasons. Like it's not all the time every week that we get to do that, right? We have busy lives. Everybody does. It's just the world that we live in, but it's seasons. But I think it's just making it intentional, being intentional with all of that, with our family, with our girls, with our date night, with yourself. Being super intentional is the key, because it's not always perfect.
Is it ever perfect?
No. Right? And something that we always are striving to work on, but we're never perfect. So there might be seasons where, you get to do a lot of date nights, and then there's seasons where you don't.
Yeah. And we've hit a spot where not having date night is not the norm, right? So we don't miss very often. So when we do, we have a little bit of grace for each other because we're like, okay, we couldn't do that this week, but we know that that's not the norm. We're going to go back to it, that sort of thing. So,
and obviously being in different season with our kids too. Like date night didn't always happen when we had the littles.
I'm glad you say that because I remember a season of our life where I was really frustrated at all the married couples giving us advice or giving me advice about how important date night is. And I totally believe date night is important, but we were just at a season of family and career where date night just seemed nearly impossible because we didn't necessarily have family where we lived.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like we could just drop the kids off at grandparents' house because they lived 8 hours away. And we just had to like navigate. We had to find the nooks and crannies where we could do that. And I think we did okay at that. Probably weren't great, but we were also at a place where financially, even getting a cup of coffee once a week was like, hey, we need to lay off that, right? Those kinds of things. And there was a season in our career or my career or working where our schedules weren't even aligned. I mean, I used to have to work nights. And then you work days, and so it was kind of like, whoa, all of those things. So there's like lots of obstacles. So as you bring that up, it's kind of important that you do what you can based off the season that you're in, and then you give yourself grace and slack. And again, because it's about that self-care, relationship care, that sort of thing. So I was thinking about this question. And I probably don't even know how to ask the question right. So as I fumble through it, then you can figure out what the answer is or what your opinion of it is. How imperative or how much of a self-care and relationship is it to support like each other's interests or be equally invested in the other person's success?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in a relationship, that's one-sided.
Totally.
Right?
I mean, I think it's super important. I will preface that and say it's not like video games, let's bring that into.
Yeah.
You love video games, certain ones, and I don't. But I give you the space to do that and let you do that. And I
never ask her to play video games with me. And I'm not like, babe, let's play this video game.
It's not my thing. But I think as long as I give you the space for that, that's kind of where the team work comes into play. And not just like, are you playing those games again?
Which I don't even get to play very often.
No, you don't. But I'm just saying, like, you can put anything in there. And I think it's just about giving the person space to do what they love to do, even if it's not your biggest interest.
There's one area that I have the most difficult time supporting Jamie's interest in. I'm just going to call myself out on it.
What's that?
Country music. I just
Come
can't
on.
do it. I just.
You secretly love it.
Nope. Rap music, yes, is not a secret, but I do love it. Right? I like a good rhyme, but
Hey.
a good flow. But I think, okay, on a more serious note, right, that when it comes to supporting each other's interests, like I try to be really as invested in your success, your platform. So for those that don't know, Jamie is a health coach. Nutritional health coach. She coaches people on the program that we got on, and we do, and we live, right? That's part of who we are. And she's really the front runner and the face of that, and I'm the support and the eye candy of that.
Right.
And so with that, I'm always trying to be like, okay, what do I need to do? What do we need to do? Where can I help? And so I think, even though I've been trying to invest in her, it's really been a reverse investment back to me. And this isn't really a question at this point. I'm just saying, like, this is what we do. This is how we handle that. But it's really been a team effort to try to like, hey, you found your purpose, and how can I invest in you being awakened to your purpose? And I don't know what is.
I appreciate that.
Okay,
it's been
how valuable.
Great.
Is that?
I mean, I wouldn't be as successful as I am without your help, without your behind the scenes. Like, you're doing great, babe. Just the little encouragement that you give. And so I think for everybody, anybody can do that for their spouse or their friends even. Just like, hey, you're doing an awesome job. Just giving words of encouragement, things like that, I think goes a long ways for people.
So, okay, we need to bring it back, and we'll wrap it up on self-care.
Yeah.
And the habit of it, the principle, the priority of it, that sort of thing. And so some of the things that we've talked about this season is really investing in yourself intellectually. So that's going to conferences, reading books, taking a course, right? That sort of thing. So
super important.
Yeah. What is a resource that you love and like or use to invest in yourself and take care of yourself that way, like intellectually?
Yeah.
I didn't prep her for that question.
No. So, well, I mean, I don't know if I can say his name, but there's an author that I really like, and I've read a couple books of his, Mark Batterson.
Mm-hmm.
He's great, and he has daily devotionals. He has just incredible books that really help me, because one of the things that I've always struggled with is the power of positive self-talk, and I think that that's just as an important thing. Talking about this whole topic is how do you talk to yourself?
Drawing circles.
Yeah. Draw the circle. Chase the Lion is the most recent one that I read. He has all kinds, but I think listening to those books and reading them at the same time is very important and just helps you move forward. Right? Like if we're never learning, if we're not investing in those kinds of things, we're kind of just stuck.
Yeah. You also listen to Ed Milet a lot.
I do like Ed Milet.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
You can say his name.
Okay.
We don't know him personally yet because he's listening and watching now. And
there you go.
He's going to.
No, he's great.
I mean, call me.
He's, I would definitely say find somebody on podcast, listen, like invest in that, because it just helps you be a better person.
Yeah. There's one book that I'm going to talk about. It's by John Acuff. I think that's how you say his name, John Acuff, called Soundtrack. And it literally is about, like, what is the soundtrack that keeps playing over and over in our mind? And sometimes we just need to change our soundtrack. And again, this is about self-care. And we know that self-talk is a huge part of that because Henry Ford says it this way: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
And so really that's literally changing the soundtrack of whether you can or you can't. And so I would just encourage people to pick up that book. Again, John doesn't know me, so he doesn't know I'm saying that yet. John, call me. Anyways, but thanks for being on the show again.
Thanks.
I know this is not your favorite thing to do, but it's so valuable. You're so good at it. You're my best guest.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching to this season. Again, this is the finale of season 6 on self-care. We'd love for you to purchase our course curriculum, Step Into Purpose. It's a 12-week course on literally every week assignments with action steps on how to awaken the purpose that is within you. You can purchase that by going to our website, ourcultivatedlives.com, or by clicking on the link in the bio or the description so that you can find those there. Again, it's 12-week course, Step Into Purpose, all about taking those action steps to those dreams, the mindset, the purpose, the identity of what you and who you want to become. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. That is the Cultivation Podcast. Thanks for checking out this week's episode. Be sure to hit the like button as well as make your comments in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you and journey with you. Also, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on all the other incredible content we have coming at you.